Have you ever wondered why it feels like you've been held back while others seem to move ahead with ease? What if those silent seasons were never meant to defeat you, but to prepare you for something no one around you could see? Many believers don't even realize this, but God often does His greatest work in the hidden places, long before the breakthrough becomes visible. If you felt overlooked, misunderstood, or as if your prayers have been echoing into silence, this message may be exactly what your heart has been waiting to hear. You didn't arrive here by accident. Before you clicked on this video, God already knew the questions you were carrying, the burdens you've been hiding, and the hope you've been trying not to lose. The reason God allows certain delays is much more important than it seems. What feels like waiting may actually be the moment heaven is quietly arranging what no human effort could accomplish. Don't leave too soon, because one truth in this message could completely change the way you see your current season. Many people walk away just before they understand what God has been building behind the scenes. This is very important for your soul. What you're about to hear isn't meant to fill you with fear. It is meant to awaken your faith and remind you that God's timing has never been late. Watch until the end, and you'll understand His complete plan in a way that may bring peace where you've only known uncertainty. There is something I want you to understand before you take another step. The weight you've been carrying is not proof that I have forgotten you. It is proof that I have been strengthening parts of you that comfort could never reach. You have asked me, why has life become so difficult? Why do doors keep closing? Why do I feel like everyone else is moving while I remain in the same place? My child, I have heard every whispered prayer, every tear that fell onto your pillow, every silent conversation you thought no one else could hear. Many lose faith right here. They assume that if they cannot see movement, nothing is happening. They mistake silence for absence. But my silence has never meant I stopped working. Sometimes I become quiet because I am arranging what your eyes are not yet ready to witness. Think about a seed buried beneath the ground. To those walking above it, nothing appears to be changing. Days pass, rain falls, the earth remains still. Yet beneath the surface, life is forming. Roots are growing deeper before the first green leaf ever reaches the light. In many ways, your life has looked exactly like that. Others judged your season because they could only see the surface. Some questioned your faith. Others assumed your dreams had faded. Even people close to you wondered why your prayers seemed unanswered. But they could not see what I could see. They never saw the quiet battles you fought just to keep believing. They never saw the mornings when you thanked me even though nothing had changed. They never saw you choosing kindness after being wounded, choosing forgiveness after betrayal, choosing hope after disappointment. Those hidden victories matter more than you realize. I have never measured your life by applause, promotions, followers, or possessions. I have always looked at your heart. While the world celebrates what is visible, heaven celebrates what is faithful. This is the revelation many believers never discover. Your greatest preparation has been taking place in ordinary moments. The conversation where you held your tongue instead of speaking in anger. The bill you paid while trusting me for tomorrow. The lonely evening when you opened my word instead of surrendering to despair. Those moments seem small, but heaven recorded every one of them. Nothing has been wasted. Even the disappointments you wanted me to remove became classrooms where your faith matured. The betrayal that nearly broke you taught you to depend on me instead of people's approval. The delay that frustrated you taught you patience. The unanswered questions taught you to trust my character, even when you couldn't understand my plan. But now, listen carefully. There is a reason the pressure has felt heavier recently. Just before a new season begins, the enemy often whispers louder than ever. He wants you to believe that your story is ending, when, in truth, you are standing at the edge of a beginning. He cannot stop my purpose for your life, so he tries to exhaust your faith before you step into it. Do not believe every fearful thought that enters your mind. Not every delay is denial. Not every closed door is rejection. Sometimes I close the path you wanted because I can already see the one that will protect your peace, strengthen your character, and lead you into blessings you never imagined asking for. Here is what many people miss. The greatest danger is not failing. The greatest danger is giving up one day before the breakthrough I have been preparing all along. So, if your heart has grown tired, if your prayers have become quieter, if you have wondered whether anyone sees your struggle, know this, I do. And what I am about to reveal next will help you understand why your current season has been unlike anything you've experienced before. The next step begins with a truth that many people overlook, yet it changes everything. Now I want to reveal something that few people recognize until they look back on their lives. The seasons that feel the most confusing are often the seasons standing closest to transformation. You have been asking me to change your circumstances, but before I change what is around you, I often transform what is within you. A blessing without preparation can become a burden. That is why I never rush what must first be strengthened. This may surprise you, but some of the prayers you thought I ignored were actually being answered in a different way. You prayed for peace, so I allowed situations that exposed where fear still ruled your heart. You prayed for stronger faith, so I permitted moments where trusting me became your only option. You prayed for purpose, so I led you away from places that felt comfortable but could never become your calling. At first, it felt like loss, but what you called loss was often my protection wearing the disguise of disappointment. Pause for a moment and think about the people who suddenly walked away from your life. You cried over those endings. You questioned your worth. You wondered what you had done wrong. Yet, if they had remained, they might have distracted you from the very future I was preparing. Not every goodbye is punishment. Some goodbyes are acts of mercy that only make sense much later. This is where many believers become discouraged. They expect my blessings to arrive with instant clarity, but my greatest works often unfold one faithful step at a time. I do not simply give gifts. I shape hearts that can carry them with humility. There is another truth your soul needs to hear. Comparison is one of the quietest thieves of joy. When you watch someone else succeed, it is easy to wonder if I have forgotten your name. But, my child, I do not write identical stories. I have never asked you to live someone else's assignment. While you were looking at another person's harvest, I was still tending the roots of yours. What grows slowly often grows deeply, and what grows deeply is far less likely to be shaken when storms arrive. But here comes the revelation that changes everything. The breakthrough you have been expecting may not begin with a dramatic event. It may begin with a new way of seeing. The moment you stop measuring your life by delays and start measuring it by my presence, everything changes. Suddenly you realize that I have been beside you through every closed door, every lonely night, every difficult decision. You were never abandoned. You were being led. This is why I want you to guard your heart in the coming days. Do not let bitterness replace gratitude. Do not let fear become louder than my promises. And do not allow temporary setbacks to convince you that your future has been canceled. Instead, begin each morning with a simple act of faith. Before reaching for your worries, reach for me. Before believing the voices of doubt, remember the times I carried you through situations that once seemed impossible. Write down the blessings you almost overlooked. Thank me for the doors that closed. Pray for wisdom instead of rushing ahead. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserved it, but because your freedom is more valuable than your resentment. Many believers underestimate these small acts of obedience. Yet these quiet decisions prepare the heart for extraordinary moments, because when the opportunity finally appears, it is not luck that will sustain you. It is the faith that was built in secret. But now the main blessing begins. There is one final truth that many people never discover until it is almost too late. A truth that explains why this next season of your life can become unlike anything you have experienced before. My beloved child, if your heart has remained open until this moment, then receive this final truth with faith. The greatest miracle I want to perform is not simply around you, it is within you. Many people spend their lives waiting for one extraordinary day while overlooking the quiet miracles that prepare them for it. They ask me to remove every obstacle, never realizing that some obstacles became the very places where they learned to hear my voice more clearly than ever before. This is why I have been calling you closer. Not because I needed your attention, because you needed my presence. The world tells you that your value depends on how much you accomplish, how many people applaud you, or how quickly your dreams come true. But I have never measured you that way. Before anyone celebrated you, I loved you. Before anyone believed in your future, I called you by name. Before you ever felt strong enough, I was already holding you together. Let that truth settle into your spirit. You have spent too much time believing the opinions of people who could only see one chapter of your story. Some labeled you as average. Others assumed you would never recover from your failures. A few quietly expected you to stay exactly where you were. But They never knew what I was writing behind the scenes. Every painful chapter had a purpose. Every delay carried a lesson. Every unanswered question drew you closer to a deeper trust that success alone could never produce. And now I want to reveal something that should fill your heart with hope. The season ahead will not be defined by striving harder. It will be defined by walking closer. There is a difference. When you strive without me, anxiety becomes your companion. When you walk with me, peace becomes your strength, even before the answer arrives. That is why I am asking you to stop carrying tomorrow as though it belongs to you. Release it into my hands. You cannot control every conversation. You cannot predict every opportunity. You cannot prevent every disappointment. But you can trust the one who already stands in your tomorrow. There will still be moments when fear knocks at your heart. There will still be days when prayers seem unanswered. There will still be voices that tell you to settle for less than I have prepared. When those moments come, do not answer fear. Answer it with faith. Remember how many times I carried you through what once seemed impossible. Remember the doors that closed only to protect you from paths that would have wounded your soul. Remember the strength you discovered in seasons you once begged to escape. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You have been refined. Your compassion has grown deeper. Your discernment has become sharper. Your dependence on me has become stronger. And that is a greater victory than many people will ever understand. So stop calling yourself forgotten. Stop believing that your story has reached its limit. Stop measuring my faithfulness by the speed of visible results. Lift your eyes. The same God who sustained you yesterday is already preparing what you cannot yet see today. Walk forward with courage. Pray even when your emotions are quiet. Love even when others misunderstand you. Forgive even when it is difficult. Trust even when the path is hidden. Because those who continue walking with me are never walking toward emptiness. They are walking toward purpose. I leave you with this promise. You are seen. You are loved. You are not behind. You are not abandoned. And if you remain faithful through this season, you will one day look back and realize that what felt like waiting was actually my hand preparing you for a life shaped by my wisdom, my peace, and my unfailing love. If this message has spoken to your heart, let your faith respond. Type Amen in the comments as a declaration that you choose to trust God's timing over your fears. Share this message with someone who needs hope today, and before you leave, take one quiet moment to thank God, not only for the blessings you can already see, but also for the ones He is preparing beyond your sight. May the Lord fill your heart with peace, strengthen your faith, and guide every step you take.